Boom! What up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host, AD Walker, the Pusha D Grow, the Motivator. Make sure you are sharing, because sharing is caring. In the journey, maybe. Let's go with that. So today we're talking about being focused in the journey, staying focused in the journey, and limiting your distractions. Yesterday we started off this week on Monday talking about fear and overcoming confidence, and yesterday just we talked about purpose. We talked about going back and what that looked like going forward. As far as your destiny and things of that nature. So today we're talking about staying focused in your journey. So let's see. Hey, Mama Corey, great morning to you. Blessings, Lisa. Thank you for being here. So some quick BOL news. It's my new segment that I'm trying to push out a little bit, just trying to break up the show some. So today I found out that Walmart will be selling hearing aids for under $150. Under $150. And from what I'm understanding, I'll say hearing, it's it's for people with not huge problems with their ears, but their hearing, but like low level kind of hearing aids. But that's still huge. If you understand the average cost of a hearing aid is about $5,000. That's right, $5,000. So just an entry level at 150 means something is changing. Now, hearing the report, they said because of some legislation and changed, because these hearing aids are FDA approved hearing aids. So if you know anything about hearing aids, I used to work at Costco. They had a whole space. You have like a doctor level. I know there's a proper term, that dealt with fixing the hearing aids because they have to be adjusted because it's a professional machine. And so for it to be this high and then this y'all just come in there and you adjust it yourself, got to see the signs. You got to see the signs that industry is about to shift. So if you're in there, you need to be trying to find your way to a new space. So that's just BOL news today. That's all I got. It's the biggest thing I got. And so we're going to go ahead and kick it off today. We're talking about, again, being focused in the journey. I'm going to go ahead and kick this countdown. We're going to get busy. And we got Mr. Matt Genius hanging in the wings. I don't want to hold him up too long. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So hang tight. We'll be right back right after this. This is your opportunity to share. Sharing is caring. Let's go.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Boom. What up? What up? What up? Good morning, Matt. Good morning.
Good morning. We have our biannual visitor today.
Right.
Hey, everybody.
Biannual. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh,
How's it going, man?
All is well. Can't complain.
Good. You see this Florida boy trying to adjust to this the new temperatures outside, you know?
Don't worry about a thing. Listen, it's gonna pass. It's gonna be, we get about, I always say, a good week of cold.
Yeah.
You know, like it's almost like there's two levels. There's this week, and then there's gonna be another week. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm not going outside today. You know.
No, actually, listen, man. Actually, I love it. I have no qualms about it. You know, honestly.
What's up, Jeff?
My kids are waiting for the snow. They're like, "Is it gonna snow this week? Is it gonna snow this week?" I'm like, that's not how it works.
My daughter grabbed my phone. She's looking like, give me the weather app. Let me see some snow. The snow, baby. The snow's not coming. The snow is not
They're
coming.
excited. They're excited. I think we just have to just be more prepared for it. We got a lot of Florida clothing that we have to now
a little adjustment
update, you know.
Well, because you don't need a lot. You just need a few things like a good hoodie. You know, you don't have to get too because I see you got you ready. You got something on you.
Listen, man, this is an indoor like sweater hoodie type of thing, man.
I got you.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking like a monk in here. You know, put this on right here. You know,
I got you.
Yeah, we're gonna stay warm at all costs. You know?
Yeah, but yeah, it won't last. It doesn't last long. It comes in, it goes out. We have winter moments. You'll have like a cold morning, and then it'll be hot by the afternoon. So
yeah, I was looking at this week. It says it's gonna drop into the like low 30s. I'm like,
wow.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. If you have to get out in the morning, you're gonna feel the cold. Yes. If your day doesn't start till like 11 p.m., it's not gonna matter as much. It gets a little cold at night. Our biggest challenge here in Georgia is ice. And I tell everybody, and it seems like by my observation, he said, "Good morning, fellas." It said, "Hey, Sam, good morning. Said, hey, cutie pie."
Hi.
So, it seems like every 2 years we have a morning of ice, meaning when the news says don't go outside, this is when you listen, don't go outside because the roads are iced up. And because, you know, we are a non-snow state, we don't have the salt shakers, the salt machines,
the salt trucks coming
through. The salt
through.
trucks like everybody else does. Yeah. You know, so ice is treacherous and you can't. So you got to wait till the afternoon. That's it. It's not all day though.
Okay. All right.
It's just till the afternoon.
Wait till the sun breaks through.
Nothing's ever happened. It's like that. Yeah. So just don't go outside. When they say, hey, tomorrow's going to be real bad, that's the day. It's only, like I said, every 2 years, it's like one day, one morning that is just don't go outside. Yeah.
I'm actually hoping for the snow sooner than later though. You know? That'd be really cool. That'd be a really good gift. So.
But you know, Georgia's a funny place because it'll snow quite a bit in certain spots.
Right.
And then I'm like, I didn't see any snow.
those spots that have elevations, right?
It probably like, and listen, it's not like high. We're not talking mountainous. Right. It's just I'm at 1,000. You're at 15. You'll see it. I won't see it.
That makes a difference. That makes a difference. You know?
Right. All right, let me get past it here. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, he eye dropped it. I'm gonna give him a minute.
Okay. All right.
Right. He said if it's bad, you can't even walk in it. Yeah, definitely. All right. Ready, sir? Good morning.
Oh yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing, man? You listen. You got me putting my eye drops in, and then you kicked me back off.
I did. I saw the eye drops happening. I didn't know what else. I didn't know what other rituals about to happen. I was like, you know what? I don't want to expose you like that.
Like I already blew my nose.
Right. Be like, oh, I'm on. My bad.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to. Right. He said, right. Pastor had a rough
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
All right. So
Yeah, my Lakers lost.
doom, doom, boom, doom. Oh.
This,
Who
this
they
is
play?
this is regular season.
Yeah. Last night was game one, and Golden State got their rings last night and commenced to blowing the Lakers off the court.
Wow.
But LeBron did get 35 points or 34 points and 14 rebounds, 8 assists.
Wow. What about the big guy? Anthony
Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, he was there.
He showed up. He checked in.
He was in attendance.
He checked in.
That's
in
it.
attendance.
Come on, man. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's
That's
sports.
hilarious.
It's sports.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna talk about being focused in the journey, focus on the journey. I got a question, right? So this is way off base, and I think about sports, and I probably asked this before. Like, how would you feel if you had that kind of job that the next day you got to hear everybody critique your job or your performance? Like good, bad, and ugly. Folks sometimes, and I begin to watch, like, folks go hard, like, why is he even on the court anymore? Because I can imagine, like, why is AD even on the court anymore? Stephen A going hard at me, like, why does he even have a job? Like, how do you? I mean, I guess you get that, like, from college, you probably get thick skin. Like, you prepare for it. I'm pretty sure you got people around you. When you get into professional, someone acclimates, like, listen, they're gonna go after you hard, right? They're gonna talk about you. Just don't take it to heart. Like, don't take it personal. Because I know me, like, I'm pretty laid back, but man, sometimes
but those guys, but they deal with that their entire lives.
I know, but but do you think it get to them?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they said that would be right. That would be brutal. Like, McCory didn't put together that architect wall last night. Like, CVS was down for about an hour.
That happens.
I know, right. But I mean, think about you watching. Was it Tech Center? Like, dun, 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 dun. Breaking news: Brian McCory might be losing his job this season. I think he needs to go.
Right. I'd love to see that, though. I'd love to see that. Not personally, but I'd love to see how the everyday man, and woman,
handle, right,
handle that, because I think we are the creators of that.
Right.
We are the creators of that.
Right.
We
Yeah.
create fandom.
Yeah.
But with fandom comes a lot of criticism too. So,
right. Yes. 100%.
We elevate and then we tear down.
Right. Like, we lift up. Like, oh no,
Yep.
that's enough.
Elevate and then we tear them right down. We tear them down. LeBron did good, but wait till he scores like 6 points in one game. Watch what happens. Watch. They're gonna start burning his jersey.
Oh gosh. Right.
They did burn his jersey.
Right.
I know. Again, for the third time.
But LeBron is like, it ain't my jersey. I didn't make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You have to deal with it one way in the public and another way in private.
Right.
The way they deal with it in public is they're trained for that.
Yeah.
But how they deal with it when the camera's off, when no one's around, now that's another story. That's between them and their therapists.
Right. Indeed. Oh, he said fall back on. Figured that comes right. Yeah, right. The only thing I fall back on is I figured that comes with the job. But also think about, and this is going into the distractions and focus on your journey. So we're there, sir. We're there, guys. We're there. Think about the family, like, it's one thing because when your job, you focus, it's part of what you do. But I think about what if it was my dad? They're talking about, oh, that brother getting old. Yeah, I think they need to get rid of him. As the outsider, you're more emotional. People like are more, they're more chimed in when they're not a part of it. People around you, you kind of take it on the chin, but other folks don't want, anybody talking about you like that. Like, I think about their families, and I can imagine even LeBron like, y'all calm down, everybody calm down. It's just jerseys. They're just a little burnt. They're just a little hurt. Like it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be a riot. It's all theatrics. It's kind of like, let's put it in perspective. It's gonna be okay. You know how people are with teams. Because I'm sure it's more calming down of your village than it is, just having to take it on the chin. And when it comes to let's go to making those decisions that are openly or publicly renounced, how do you stay focused and keep your team focused? How do you stay focused and keep your team focused without losing yourself, without making too many emotional level decisions?
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that we don't know that happens in the background is that these people are surrounded by a lot of professionals that assist them with that,
Right.
that really, really help them and their families learn how to, combat a lot of the criticism.
Right.
They're on that big stage. People don't know the cost of fame. That's what it is. There was a really great article that I read years ago talking about the cost of fame,
Right.
as far as the level of scrutiny and elevation that comes with it. A lot of people want to be famous, but a lot of people don't want to deal with the criticism
Right.
and the backlash of it, And so, what's the trade-off?
Right.
I get to live in a multi-million-dollar home, drive really nice cars, Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll turn off ESPN. I'll turn off Twitter.
Right.
Bleacher. I'll turn all those things off.
Right.
and make sure my family learn how to do the same too, because how they feel doesn't make me wake up or go to bed at night. That's their opinion.
Right.
And their emotions are not my responsibility.
Right.
So yes, they're paying my salary, and I go out and I do the best I can, and I'm grateful for it. But however, there is a point where, their reality has to cut away from mine. I'd like to put my, if I was the player, I'd be like, hey man, I appreciate your comment, man. How about this? How about you show up to the game next week? I'm gonna put the jersey on you, and we'll put you out there and see how you do.
Right. Right. Right.
Because I think for those who criticize, you have to be willing to get into the arena.
Right.
If you can't get into that arena, then that's a tough one.
I don't know if I don't know about that one, bro.
Yeah.
Because to me, I didn't choose the sport, you did.
Okay.
You decided you wanted to go out there and show your gifts, show your talent and everything,
Right.
And so that criticism is going to come with it. You're going to get the hate, you're going to get the love, and it's up to you to balance that, because this is the life you chose. Right. And because I criticize you, or because I don't agree with your style or whatever, it doesn't mean I think I'm better. It just means I'm not entertained. And then it's up to me to change the channel or whatever, but to your earlier point, it can't carry that much weight with you, because you said it. Your opinion of me does not make or break my family lifestyle.
Right.
It does not pay my mortgage. It does not put me in my Lamborghini.
Right.
So you have a right to your feeling.
Right.
It's up to me to make sure I don't allow your voice to distract me. Is that fair?
Right.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. What I'm referring to is the critic.
The commentators.
There you go. Right. The person who that's their main, job is to break down, the delivery. And sometimes what we really don't understand is what happens behind the scene.
That's good.
One of the stories that really still intrigued me is the Allen Iverson story, when he was talking about practice. Practice? You gonna ask me about practice? You remember that?
Yeah.
But people didn't know the story. He was grieving. He was grieving. He was dealing with a loss, and I think sometimes we really don't know. These people show up, but we don't know the ins and outs. And so sometimes we have to make sure that, our criticism and emotion are just kept to ourselves or with our close circle, but, kind of putting it out there to, because if you read some of the commentators, you know, some of the things people say about these players, it's like, wow, man, like, do you know this brother? You know, you're going hard on him, you know. So
Right.
I think that's the part I'm referring to, you know, like
that's powerful, man. That what you just said reminds me of a story some years ago where a preacher had a musician come into the church on like a Thursday night service,
Right.
and the musician seemed a little off,
mm,
you know, and the preacher thought he was intoxicated,
wow.
and he made the comment like, you know, like you can't come to service thinking that you're going to play under the influence.
Right.
And then he found out that he was a diabetic.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
And the words, the comments he made were public.
Wow.
Right. But what I appreciate was the level of repentance.
There
Right.
you go. See, that's
Right.
important right there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's important right there.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes we do get on the public forum and say certain things, you know, based on our opinions, based on what we feel, but we may not have the full story, you know?
Yeah.
I have this really great presentation about mental health that kind of deals with that directly. You know, I give a summary of, you know, a scenario. It's fictitious, but people buy into it. People believe the scenario is real. And then they get very, very, very critical of the fictitious characters that I put out there. They go in on them. They're like, how could this person do that? You know?
Right.
And of course, at the end of it, when I reveal, you know, the background to the fictitious story, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know,
Right.
Are they okay? And I'm like, they're not real. You know?
Don't worry.
They're safe. Nobody got injured in this story.
Your reaction was real.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
so the point is sometimes we really don't know the full story, you know. AD may be going through some things right now, you know, who knows?
Right. Right. All right. So it's tough though. He said I was in sales most of my life and was competitive, but nobody was as harder on me than me. I took that stuff home with me.
Mhm.
And he continues to say, you know, I brought the stuff home to the dinner table with me. I went to bed, woke up with it.
Wow.
A life of highs and lows. I learned to control my emotions.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's big.
That's real.
Mhm.
That's big.
That's
Yeah.
real. I have that button, Jeff.
Right. Right.
Learning how to isolate issues
Yeah.
and keep them in their proper place so that you don't bleed on people that have nothing to do with what you're going through.
But how do you heal? Like how do you take that off? Like how do you deal with that? Right? Like we talk about the superstars, right? Because of their level of expense and liability, you know, I'm sure they got certain levels of teams. They got a Matt Genius, a personal Matt Genius, either on call or right there, will come in the middle of the night, you know, like, hey, yeah, right, we need to sit down, you know, and talk to you, the family, you know, because you're a liability. We need you at peak performance, you know, physically and mentally. Like, but how for us, the average Joe, like how do we process the loss? How do we process the embarrassment? How do we process when the things are not going the way we planned and we don't take those feelings and bleed out on the family?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't.
Yeah. Just if I can quick, and then I'll
ahead.
let Matt step in. What I learned to do is let my family know what kind of day it's been.
Okay.
Before we even get started. Listen, I might be a little sure if you feel
Right.
tension,
Look,
it's because
yeah.
this was not a good day.
Right.
Let me tell you what happened. Right. Without even explaining what happened, just at least saying today, I want to give you the attention, but I'm not all the way here right now. You know, I learned, and I'm not saying I've perfected that. I'm saying I've learned to insert that into the equation so that at least if there are signs, if there are vestiges, my family has already heard I'm going through something. I had a tough day. I'm in a tough place. That's what I tried to do.
Right. Before you answer, Matt, what if it's just not a day? What if we're in a season? Because you know we have our days. You can kind of like I'm I'm king, get over it. But the season, Jeff, I know Jeff may be talking about days or, the highs and lows. Cause I know when it comes to sales, when you have a bad 2 days of of crappy sales, it's like, oh, I got to make up. Now I need to double and triple up before Friday.
2 days. Well, you missed your number for 2 months and now you're on plan. They call it a performance improvement plan.
See, we're in the season. Right. And now it's like, if you're having a sales presentation, you literally want to end with, so what do you guys think? Can you buy? Please? Or how much does this have to be for you to get out? I'll come babysit. Do I need to come babysit all of you guys, children? You got,
I have an extra kidney. I have an extra kidney for everybody.
Anybody. I got. So
the first place you have to start is, got to learn how to detach. How's it going, man? Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes, sir.
See you, Phil.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I said one of the first places you have to start is learning how to detach your performance from yourself.
Right.
The two are not the same.
Nope.
We are not our numbers.
Yep.
We are not our deliverables.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not who I am, man. That's a part of me, and it's a very small part of me. So I think we have to learn how to create that into our identity as a separate part. That's one. The second part is that's intimate. I think, and a lot of us, when I say us, I'm talking about men. We have a hard time connecting when those emotions are present.
Right.
And I think we have lost a lot of low-hanging fruit when it comes to intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's that whole 2 months, weeks, whatever period. Those are intimate moments that we're not sharing because of our fears of shame, of guilt, of failure, of rejection, of resentment. So we don't share, and we internalize it, and then it comes out. Easy targets. The easy targets are the people who we love, and I love that expression. You always hurt the ones you love, not because you love them, because of proximity. The ones you love are usually closer to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they become the easy target of your unresolved emotions, and what we need to learn how to do more often is share those emotions in real time, because that's intimate.
Right.
I think we're used to sharing the highs. Let me tell you how I got a triple double in sales today. I sold a lot. And then so we're happy about that. So we share those moments, and that's an intimate time for you and your partner and your family. When it's on the opposite end, we tend not to share those things and internalize them, and then we penalize ourselves for that. Right. Because you're not connecting in that time, right? Which it is a time to connect. That's an intimate moment. Share your failures, share your fears, share your anger, share your, those in between emotions that we don't necessarily value. Those are valuable things because, first of all, you don't get to carry them by yourself.
Yeah.
You get to disperse them. Now everybody knows, and it's not like you have this great secret. Oh man, I gotta. And it's all on you. You wake up, everybody sees it on your face. Now everything's fine. You get in that car, you're kicking, like you're driving reckless, all the stuff
coming out.
It's coming out. You got road rage, and it becomes a domino effect. So our job is to learn how to first be okay with that, because it's not us. That's not my identity. If I don't do well at work, I'm still good, because I love myself, and I love, the self that, the Most High has provided me with, my mental, my emotional, my physical, all those things. And so if I'm in that state, then I'm not punishing myself for something that I didn't do correct, because that isn't the whole of me.
Right.
That's
a big one too.
Yeah. So
and executing that is easier said than done. But that's a real talk.
Right.
Yeah. Per hour, man. I charge per hour, man. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying, there we go. Let's go.
$1 million
right
game.
Listen. I'm gonna make sure if Matt got his if he got a Calendly, he's gonna put that Calendly up, put that fee up. I can hook that brother up. He can get you there. He can get you there. Today's just giving you the broad advice. But this is It's the
Putting
bro.
out
If we need a
Tesla.
deeper dive, you guys need a deeper dive. Connect with my brother
Yeah,
Matt.
man.
G.
I mean, that's a lot of us, man. So,
Yeah.
and I think we got to remove the shame from that, man.
Right.
You got to
That's
remove. We got to remove the shame from it. You know, one of the most intimate moments for me was losing my job when my triplets were about 6 months. They fired me. They fired me. You know, and I had triplets at home, and they knew it.
Yeah.
And they knew it.
We just talked about this, right?
Yeah.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, you know. Oh, congratulations, by the way.
By the way,
You're out of here. You know? So,
yeah.
and I had to come home and share that with my wife and my family, you know, and
tough.
that was a scary time for me as a young man, you know,
Yeah.
fathering 4 girls at the time.
Right.
You know, you take that on the chin, but
Right.
I think the intimacy that my wife and I shared, my family and I shared, didn't allow me to feel small. You know, I rose to the occasion, they rose to the occasion, and we made it work.
Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't, you know, you can't back down from those moments. I felt sadness, I felt anger, I felt rejection, I felt all the emotions that one would feel,
Right.
but I also shared those emotions, you know, and I processed those emotions until I was in a better space.
Right.
You had a place to share it though.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know,
Definitely.
even you say something and then people be like, I will complain, but who gonna listen? Like, you know, it's in our vocabulary, you know what I mean? So like, where would you share that shame? You know,
Wow.
the success
Wow.
is easy. Everybody
Yeah.
got the like button.
Mhm,
Nobody
mhm.
ain't got no bro, I feel you going through button. You know what I'm saying? So it's not
Yo,
really like
make it happen.
There's
Make it
no
happen, man.
platform
Facebook
to
need
do it.
that. Facebook need that. We need the I feel you button. We need
Right.
that.
I feel you.
That's
Yeah,
right.
straight up,
I'm
man.
with
Yeah,
you.
I'm with you, but yeah,
They got the care. No, I need
Yeah.
that. I feel you. I feel
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I need that I feel
Yeah.
you button, man. You know,
But I think you
Yeah.
create that space for yourself.
right.
Mm.
You know, you have to establish that safe space so that you can express yourself, and that takes work, right?
Mm.
Empathy is a strange thing, man.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
getting people to jump in the hole with you and feel with you. It's an interesting thing. It's an interesting emotion or psychological disposition, because I know that there are people who are willing to get in there with you,
Right.
but far more people are afraid to
Right.
get in there with
yeah,
you.
Mm.
You know, I'm glad it's not me
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
is the mentality. So it's important for you to try to establish or find that space. The it's kind of funny. The one thing that I was going to allude to earlier is that when strange things happen to you, because you said you were young when this happened, Matt. I was going to ask you, was this before or after your studies?
Mm. Yeah. So this was a very crucial time in my life, like those 3 years. It's probably like a 3-year span that a lot was going on, you know, as far as family, as far as work, as far as career, you know, like maybe 2 years before I had finished my master's program, you know, finished my master's very successfully, was proud of myself. Everybody was proud of me, you know, and then I started my PhD program right afterwards. And in the PhD program, at the end of my first semester, I had a friend of mine, close friend of mine, man, ended his life by suicide, you know?
Man.
And so that kind of derailed me. That allowed me to take a turn into the career that I was in. I wasn't in the mental health field because of the weight I was carrying of guilt and shame of having a close friend of mine end his life as a therapist,
Yeah.
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
and I couldn't be there for him the way I wanted to. So I carried a lot of that guilt into this new career, you know, where I was adjacent to mental health. I was still in the service field. I was still helping people out as a community counselor and helping people, you know, provide services for them, governmental services and so forth like that for the students of a college. And but there was a lot going on, you know. I was there, but was I really supposed to be there? You know, I was going towards teaching. You know, I was about to start teaching psychology and a couple other courses, which I really was passionate about. But this firing, what happened to me, was probably one of the best things that happened to me, because it forced me back into alignment with where I was supposed to be.
Right.
After I got fired, I started my nonprofit.
Right.
You know, eventually I started my, you know, private practice, and
Right.
then my career took off in another direction. So,
Nice.
you know, what I thought was like a slap on the face was basically like a slap in the right direction, you know? So,
Yeah.
Right.
you know,
Positioning you.
yeah, there you go.
Question:
Yeah.
what do you think that would have been had it happened by your hand and not forcing you by getting fired? But if
It
you
would
just
have been
decided-
it would have been smoother. it would have been way smoother. You know, it would have been without resistance, without resentment, without a lot of the unhealthy emotions. It took me about 3 months, honestly, to process, you know, me being fired because it was so personal, you know, the person and how it happened. And I carried a lot of resentment because, like I said, it was they had like 6 pages of infractions, you know, like detailed infractions on me, you know.
Brought a whole
like,
case against you. Yeah.
Right. Where were you on September 20th?
Yeah.
That type of stuff. So
it's hard not to feel like that's personal. Yeah.
It was very personal. It was very personal. And I took it to the heart, you know, and it took me a while to write my response back. Of course, you want to be professional and write yours. If they, you know, they fire you, you want to write a response and not just take that on the chin. So that the records will only say what they say about you, you know. So I had an opportunity to clarify where I was and what my perspective was. But it took 3 months for my mind to be clear, so I won't respond from a place of anger, resentment, and you know, and to give them back some of the venom that I was exposed to. So you know, so I had to go to I went to therapy. I went to therapy, help process that, you know, help calm my emotions and mental state and really align myself back with my purpose, you know, getting back as a mental health professional. It really put a spark under me. But to answer your question directly, if I took the choice and said, you know what, guys, this was great, I think it's time for me to leave now, I think it would have been a different story overall. You know, it would have been a way more joyous occasion because even now I'm still meeting people that I used to work with. They'd be like, man, Matt, what happened, man? One day you were there, the next minute you were gone. You know? And I'm like,
that's what I said.
You know? So a lot of them don't even know the full story. And so it would have been a different, you know, time. I think it would have been more of a celebratory occasion rather than a very sad and emotion filled occasion. So definitely would have been a big difference.
When you talking about the people you revealing stuff to in these circles, you know, it's like it's years, months later. I don't know how long that was, and we're talking about it, you know, in an interview format. Like, hey, you know, break it down, relive it for me right quick. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. Right. But to do that while you going through
it, right?
That's another thing that makes me, like you say, you carry the shame too. I'm already dealing with the fact that I got to carry this. Now I got to come home to you, and you got to Monday morning quarterback me, like, you know. So did you? Like, come on, I don't need further investigation on this subject. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say
according to this?
Did you ask?
But did you remember to pay the bill? Like, hold on, bro. All right. I don't need you to help me figure this out.
Did you
I'm literally just in the moment.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So like, those are the things that make us, that makes me a little hesitant to come and just be like, hey, y'all, guess what I messed up today? Like, it's not this easy thing to do. It's the shame of messing it up, right? You know, nobody wants to miss the game-winning shot. Like, I look at Sports Center sometime, and I mean, if you really look at how we break this stuff down, we're talking about real people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they got to get him out of there, man. He can't shoot for nothing. Like, that's a real person trying to provide for their family, though. Like, if they get him the ball again, you know, all this, you know, and I know it's entertainment, and they know what it is too. They signed up for it. But I'm just saying, like, we literally get to see their failures every day. LeBron, he ain't nothing, man. He just a big baby.
Pastor was talking about that earlier. Pastor said that we have to be the creators of that setting, that environment doesn't just appear for us, you know. I think that's something that we have to learn how to create, you know. And
but that's on other people though. We can't create people.
No. It's on you.
Okay.
When you give it to somebody else,
your behavior.
When you give it to somebody else, you're losing ownership of how you feel, think, and exchange.
Can I control how I'm received?
I'm not saying that you can. I'm saying cultivation of an environment means that you have to be intentional in knowing what you need. And once you understand that, then it's your job to facilitate the creation of it. I'm not saying you're controlling anybody on the outside. What I'm saying is that we have a role to play in creating that journey. Meaning, if I haven't been vulnerable with you for the years that we've been together, and then one day I'm coming home, like, you know, how Martin used to do, like, you know, Gina, man, you know, like, you know,
right.
And so that's not authentic because it hasn't been a space that you frequented for a while.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
So we have to learn how to create this as a practice.
Right.
You know, what I instruct people on how to do is like, first you have to understand what you need. You know, if you don't know what you need, if you don't know what you need as far as the environment, as far as the mental, emotional, physical states that you're gonna need to be vulnerable in, you already behind the game. You know, you're already a couple steps behind. And most of us honestly don't even know what we need, don't know what that setting looks like or feels like. We haven't had it in a very long time. We probably haven't had it since our, you know, our childhood. And some of us never even had it there. You know? So this is an environment that we as adults have to learn how to co-create and facilitate. Meaning, if I go to you and I know you're going to be, you know, the Monday morning quarterback, I'm not going to go to you. You know, you're not that environment. You know, you're just not it. And so a part of it is building, you know, creating and learning, and then creating the boundaries based on how we respond and how we give to people. You know, and if that's not a common practice, we can't just jump in and be like, all right, time for vulnerability circle. Let's go, guys. You know, like
there's so many dynamics to that though, Matt, because you know, effective communication, to your earlier point, is something that for a lot of people, you didn't really get that growing up. You know, that's not the culture. It is do as I say, period. You know, it's standoffish. You know, I love it when I hear someone talk about being raised in a loving, nurturing environment, right? That is conducive to your growth and all of those things. And that doesn't mean it's bad parenting. The Bible says my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Ignorance kills. We don't know to do it. And when we learn to do it, you know, when you know better, you do better. And what I'm saying is that communication piece, that talking it out piece, you know, I'm looking at it from one perspective through the lens of my personal experience. And here's what I mean. As men, you know, one of the, like, getting fired, it's personal, it's intimate, because naturally we want to feel necessary.
100%.
Right. That's the biggest part of manhood is feeling like
value.
Somebody needs you. And so when you're rejected, man, that's just it.
Nobody needs you.
I don't even know why you're here.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to try to prevent that rejection from happening, you try to communicate, and then your communication or the response to your communication lacks empathy, and so you say, well, then I just won't come to you. Right. And so we stand off. We isolate, and then no one understands your isolation because I don't understand. I wasn't there for you with the proper response.
Right.
Right.
This is good, man. This is really good. This is really good.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, because all of us are married. So one of our first go-tos, you know, for the most part, you know, we kind of conditioned ourselves to go to our wives first. Right. To try to have that conversation, or want to have that conversation, or open up, or it should be, I would think. And correct me if that's a whole nother conversation. But like, how do we open up even to our village of men, you know, to each other? Like, what's the safe space for us to open up, you know, to each other? Because we don't, I mean, and I won't even say historically. I don't even because I don't have facts to back that, but I'll say based on what my limited perspective, we as men don't really talk to anybody. You know, we may talk to, like, guys talk to each other when we're in the thick of the worst of the worst. Like, I gotta talk to somebody now. You know, like while we headed down that path.
Pick me up from jail, bro.
Right.
I explain in the car, bro.
Right, exactly. Like, by the time he called me, like, wait a minute, where you at? I didn't even get to jail. Like, what was the process of events that was going on that you didn't share that got you in that space? Like, this happened, brother, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, like, what? Like, we could have talked. We could have prevented this. And so, it's so the safe space that cultivating, and like Jeff says, you know, in other words, it's our responsibility to create what is needed, what's needed to thrive, right? And not only in-house in your own home, but even amongst those outside the home? You know, how do we create a space outside the home where, I don't know, like conversation is happening enough where you feel comfortable to share? Because that's the part, like, you know, because for the most part, like if people share, it usually comes after like Ephraim, he was like, man, let me tell you what's going on in my household. And then I'm like, oh, my joint is not as bad as E, so I'm gonna share mine. You know, like, and then Pastor's like, oh, my joint ain't as bad as what they got going on. I'm gonna share mine too. You know, like, since we're gonna throw it all out here, let's talk about it. You know, I think once you feel comfortable, like, how do you cultivate that comfortability, like all the way around? Because, you know, you can talk in home and get what you need, but sometimes it's still sitting on you. You know, sometimes it's still weighing on you. You know, the wife is trying her best to help you. Children see it in your face. They're trying to cheer you up a little bit, do their children like stuff, you know, like, but it's still weighing on you because it's something that's right now, you know, something that's just not going away. Can you speak to that a little bit? And what up, Kadeem? Good morning, sir. I know you're in the building.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Yeah, that's a powerful realization that I think when we come to it, it feels like a crossroad because like how do we really bridge this gap? You know, and there's a lot of work to be done in that arena, you know, because of what Pastor alluded to earlier, communication. You know, if you haven't seen that example, if you haven't been exposed to that example on a continuous basis, it's going to be hard for you to adopt it. You know, one of the things that I do teach in my workshops and trainings, plug,
let's go.
It's definitely something that we have to learn for men and women. Right. You know, one of the major differences are communication styles. You know, men have been socialized based on the society we've been brought up in. Just that we stop at a specific point in our levels of communication with each other and with sometimes our significant others. We don't go deep enough sometimes. And so to go deep enough may be a violation of the relationships that we have, you know. Whoa, man, that's too much information, man. I'm not ready for that right there, man.
Good.
You know?
I don't know you like that, bro.
You know, and so, you know, I think a part of it is learning and feeling safe, because we talk about safety and as a part of it. Like, what do I need to feel safe to get to a space of emotions and vulnerability? Men, listen, man, apocalypse come tomorrow, and we had to, you know, just relate to each other. We would communicate on these levels and stay there and be fine. We would communicate on the basics, on the facts and the opinions. Basic facts and opinions.
Right.
You turn to most of the shows that are out there about men. Right. Predominant 80 to 90% of what they say is basics, meaning like they give you a greetings, you know, facts, they drop some knowledge, information, and then opinion. People share their thoughts and opinions about it. Very seldom, it has been happening more frequently now, but very seldom do they get to a space of really diving into emotions and vulnerability of topics, of situations, and so forth. So that's a societal issue that we've been exposed to that allow us to stay there and feel stagnant there and feel stuck there. But we don't have to, man. There's a space that we can create and understand that, look, man, I need more. You know, I need more from you guys. I need more from you guys. So help me feel safe enough, you know. And I can't come to the table just saying, help me. I have to come with the idea or the formula of what I need to feel safe.
Right.
You know, I need
without overcoming the threat of feeling inferior or soft or lacking manhood, because that's how we crucify each other publicly. Right. And the thing is, it's not just men doing it to each other. Our women are doing
get there because they're not used to us in that state as well. So they villainize us and make us small. You know, why are you so emotional? Why you know, and it's like
kind of
man. You know, so
look at this.
I think there's a lot of rebranding, you know. I think our level of intimacy needs rebranding, you know. Even in our language, man. Even in the language, I think we have to learn how to take away some of those standard words in conversation that we just use, you know. Like I was saying this, like I got fired because that's the common terminology. But even in that, man, listen to that. you got terminated.
Right.
You know?
Destroyed.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, like these
Right.
words, you know, and because they penetrate so deeply because of what society has made, what
Yeah.
value society has given them,
But you know,
and
you
then
know what's
we
so crazy?
internalize them.
You know what's so crazy on that note? Like that's like your identity, right? You got terminated. Like
Yeah.
say we always come around and say let's just say you got the highest paying job out of all of us, and you know, somehow we always talk about how interesting whatever you do, the work you do, and then you say, I got fired. Like, you know, in the group, does that take you down a notch? Like you feel like,
That's what
like
it is.
it's something I wouldn't even like if I was the center of talk when it came to that space, would I want to even talk about being terminated? You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
hey, what's going on with it? Man, what happened this week? You know, like, this week I got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
the end of the conversation. Like
I got terminated
I
from
got
my
terminated.
job.
Right,
You know?
right, right.
They
How about
gave
the
me
Cowboys?
pink
Like-
slip, you know,
Yeah.
like
What
all
we talk about next. Yeah.
Right, you know, you know,
you know,
like-
as soon as you say that, be like, "Hey man, the Lakers played last night."
Right,
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
the
good
Lakers
game.
played last night.
Good game. Really good game. Yeah, you don't just move on, man. It's tough, you know. Like,
Yeah.
and then if you're not ready for that,
Yeah.
Right.
then they catch you
Right.
off guard, make you a
Forward.
little awkward. Like, man, what I say next?
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Because I happened to get a promotion last night, so it was like
Right.
this is a little awkward. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, man.
But,
they
I
doubled me
don't-
up last night, man. You know, so
Yeah.
that's
These
tough,
se-
man.
The,
You
the
know,
sharing the feeling things is necessary because we do wear it, we do carry it. You know what I mean? But just finding that space is critical. You know, somebody that can understand it, because for that to be handled wrong will make me go even harder.
right?
Oh, you gonna clown me when I share this emotion?
Listen,
Okay, I
man.
got you. You ain't gotta worry about it no more. I'm
Ever
gonna put some
again.
extra gangster on that part.
Ever
And then
again,
you got
know?
guys walking
Never-
around tougher than they
never
need to be.
Right.
And I look
Right.
back at a lot of my homeboys and myself, and I ain't gonna exclude myself from that. And I think about how this little
Right.
fight started. Think about how that argument carried on.
Right.
Right.
Think about why somebody took that stance during that situation. And I can find another situation where they didn't take that stance and maybe got clowned or got beat up. There's some really guys that you think tough that really just responded because they got beat up one time and they were like, well, never again. They
Never
actually
Right.
want to have fun. They actually
Right.
don't want to shoot up the party, but
Right.
you know, they
looking
come
for
with this.
want friends.
You
Right.
feel me?
You know?
So,
Right.
and then especially when we're in groups, they feel, I don't know, that's a female thing, but men, we feel extra tough when we in a larger
yeah.
group. For some
I got to
reason.
be the
don't-
biggest. I got to be the
I
biggest.
just don't understand that.
Yeah.
I
But,
got to out bravado you.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know,
Strength
so-
in
so
numbers,
into
man.
that.
Strength in
Right.
numbers. You know?
Yeah. And now he want to
Right.
fight the whole club.
Right,
So
right,
I'm
right.
confused. I
Yeah.
thought we came here to party, but they go on, they do all that, and
Right.
and we we do this pecking order thing or whatever. So
Mhm.
it's a lot going on, but it's not necessarily what we need. But it's a lot going on in these groups. But I'm with you. I struggle a little bit with that. You got to create peace. I feel what you're saying. That you got to set the expectation. But
Right.
nah, most definitely we can all agree that you got to have that space somewhere. You got to have
Yeah.
somebody.
Like I said, like you can't, you know, when I think sometimes what we do is we think it's just us, you know, we think it's just our circle. Bro, this is almost every,
That's it.
you know, there's a lot of us that are struggling with that
Right.
same
Yes.
thing, you know. Give you an example. When was last time as an adult man you made a friend? You know,
You
like,
got y'all, I guess.
yeah, you know.
yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's hard because we have a hard time allowing that openness to be seen because
Right.
you know, what you trying to be? You trying to be my friend now?
Yeah.
What, you want my number? You trying to call me?
Yeah, it sounds funny, but it's real talk though. Yeah.
You wanna
Yeah.
go?
You want to go out for a sandwich later?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You gotta watch these boys.
You know, so
Right.
it's
Right.
hilarious, man.
Right.
But
Real.
we don't have
Right.
to live like that, man. I think we have to
Right.
start learning how to heal from a lot of the things that put us there. You
Right.
know,
Indeed.
and those are the conversations we have to start having. How do we get there? How do we get to where we
Oh,
are?
that's an
to where-
easy answer.
Yeah.
What is it? Help me.
Really?
Yeah. How we got here?
How did you get to a place where let's make sure I understand the question.
Mhm.
How do you like, how do we get where? Like how we got here from slavery, the mentality of separation, robbing you of your manhood,
Right.
seeing your families being taken away from you, showing you that you
Right.
have no power,
Right.
Yeah.
proving to you that you have no power. I'm going to take this from you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Not
That
a
type of
thing.
mentality that was poured and just it infected your livelihood, your family, your culture, your
Right.
definition. Everything about you was stripped of you, and then you're having to rebuild that in a strange territory, based on someone else's rules. We don't even realize where that whole scanning folks up and down, like those kind of conversations, where that came from, right?
The auction block.
Say it again.
The auction block.
Yeah, the auction block. You go to a foreign land and you look into people, and they look familiar. You looking them up and down to try to see if they're family.
Mm-hmm.
And we turn that into something negative.
Right.
We turned it into who are you? When it used to
Right.
be, who are you? Are we
Right.
related?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how we got here.
Yeah.
That's how we
Side-
got insecure.
you
That's
know,
how we
listen-
got, and then the field slave versus house slave. All of that competitive,
Right.
the crabs in the barrel. I mean, that's where
Yeah.
all that stuff comes from, and never wanting to show weakness. All of that because you're so afraid that someone's going to take something from you, because so
Yeah.
much has been taken. So we spend all of our time fighting for the little bit that we have.
Right.
That we lose sight of the fact that we're fighting the ones that we love.
Right.
I'm not negating with that statement, Pastor, but I think, other cultures have that same bravado, like the Middle East culture, they have that same bravado, like the showing of a weakness. I think it's just been an inbred thing that we've always done. I believe we've always done.
I think everybody, a lot of people have it, but a lot of people have it for different reasons.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what I'm saying. I'm not negating it. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's that sharing of weakness. And I think now in this time or this century, as men, we realize, oh man, I keep dying because I'm having a heart attack because I'm holding all this mess in. Like I'm not expressing it. I'm not talking about it. I'm just holding it in. And then I'm choosing unhealthy outlets in order to deal with this.
Yeah. But
nonsense.
because you're outside of your
That's what our
element.
fathers did.
Yeah, you're outside of your element as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a really profound statement that the pastor made, because we're definitely outside of our element, and we've adopted a lot of these societal norms that doesn't necessarily resonate with us. We are communal people, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We were all about our brothers. We were all about our sisters, all about our elders, all about our young. We were all about that
Village. Yeah.
until
Real
the village got
right.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Well,
know?
what's the balance with, like, I've had football coaches that have cussed me out, and it made me respect what we were doing. Like, oh, I get it, coach. I understand what you're saying. And then I've had friends who've clowned me in a moment of weakness, and it made me tighten up. Like, nah, I can't share here. So, like,
Right.
one kind of the same bravado strengthens the community, and another one kind of makes me feel like I can't
So-
share. So, what's the balance of it?
So
we
there's this-
raising some weak little boys.
There's this theory that I'm working with, the Jackson 5 theory. That's what I like to call it. Da, 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 da. The Jackson. Joe Jackson ruled with the iron fist.
He did.
And people believe that if Joe Jackson wasn't Joe Jackson, the Jackson 5 wouldn't be the Jackson 5.
Right.
And I have a counter to that. I believe
Right.
that if the environment was a thriving environment, they'd have been the Jackson forever.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They would have been. That story would have been something totally different.
Okay.
Totally different. Meaning their legacy would have extended even further. Joe
But
Jackson.
there's a reason why for that. Can you?
Oh, of course. Meaning when you grow up in a space where trauma is frequent, that trauma is going to show up somewhere form of another. And unfortunately for the Jacksons, it played out in real time. We had a chance to see it unwind, and from that generation to the next. We kind of, and I believe that if Joe Jackson was a different type of father, more loving, more nurturing, more protecting, you can still cultivate talent in that.
Yeah.
That's not a space where weakness, come from. I think that's what we think. We think if we're not hard on each other, then you can't come and be strong from that environment.
Right.
And that's a false mentality. That's not true at all. We need safe spaces where we can grow, or we can mature, or we can learn.
Right.
They had the natural talent, You know,
Yeah.
I think the iron fist is one way that we've been taught, and where do we learn that from? You know, I need those numbers. You know, I need those numbers. I need those barrels. You know, I need
Right.
that. You know, and
Yep.
so you take that mentality, you bring it to your family now, and you see results, but the results are only, you know, for a moment. You know, once you get out of their environment, how do you function in the greater society with a dysfunctional understanding? Now you relate to other people in that dysfunctional way that doesn't create bridges. It burns bridges. You push people
Right.
away, you know? So
Those are the vestiges. Yeah.
there you go. You know,
Yeah.
so I honestly believe the Jackson 5 could have been something way more dynamic if the environment was different at home.
But you know what, you know how it began to fall apart when they got old enough to realize he could no longer have that power.
Right.
Over them. And
Right.
then
That's
what are you
broke
left with? You're left
Right.
with just the pain
Right.
and the hurt. And now you're grown.
Mhm.
And this is what you're presenting to the world.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And for a lot of people, you hide behind your gift.
Yeah.
And then until you explode.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, it's amazing to me. I tell people this all the time as parents. Like, you don't really know what kind of parent you are until your children grow up and are able to share with you without fear
Yeah.
of consequence.
Yeah.
That's when you learn what kind of parent you've been. When they get old enough to show you and share with you without fear of whatever your retaliation might be.
Right.
That's when you learn. And a lot of people think they really have it. And I'm speaking from experience. You know, you really think you got it. You know, y'all, we twinning, me and my baby dressing alike. And all that, you know,
Right.
and then they grow up and they have this resentment. And you're like, oh, man, where did I go wrong?
Right.
And you don't know because we don't communicate.
Yeah.
We don't talk about how we're raising our children because we keep the family business in the house. Don't put my business in the streets.
Right.
So whatever you're going through, we've been taught and cultured to a space where we don't share our business.
Right. Right.
Right.
Indeed.
And as a pastor, I've said to people, look, if I'm not in your business, don't call me pastor.
Right.
I can't cover you if I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, guys. This was a really good conversation. We've gone over a little bit, but that's all good. Make sure you are sharing, tag somebody. Mental Health Wednesdays with our own Matt Genius. He not only plays a therapist on social media, he's a real therapist.
In real life.
In real life,
real life.
licensed therapist.
Right.
Went to school and everything.
Right.
So listen, make sure you guys connect with Matt. And we're gonna have his link. I'll put it in the chat. So make sure you guys stay connected. We're gonna get ready to get out of here. Kaneem's been a little quiet today. He's been soaking it all in. Jungle Brothers, the brothers. Buddy.
Oh yeah, man. I ain't want to interrupt nobody. You know what I'm saying? I thought I'd chime in, but you know, everybody has some good words to say, so I was just participating by listening. You know what I'm saying? But I hope you gentlemen have a good day and everybody be prosperous in what they trying to accomplish. And I'll talk to you boys later.
I need some of Kaneem's discipline.
Listen, just to listen.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, brother. You too. All right. So if all hearts and minds are clear, make sure you listen. So make sure you go to brotherlegacy.com, sign up for the holiday dinner giveaway. I got several families that are actually signing up. So if you want to nominate another family, put your name in that, and we'll be doing that drawing on the 31st. And their family will get notified, and you'll get the holiday dinner via Instacart.
Nice.
So make sure you sign up for that. Also, if you have any school-age children, make sure you sign up for the financial literacy course. It's totally free, FREE. Just go to brotherlegacy.com, click the link, and all right, sharing done. Everybody be like Jeff and share. Be like Jeff and share. Make sure you stay connected. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. And always find out what's happening with the Legacy Walker Network. I think that's, oh gosh.
If
Pastor,
you are not
yes.
in need of the holiday dinner,
Yes.
however, you'd like to support
Yes.
the gesture,
Indeed.
that AD Walker and BOL is putting out there to help people,
Yes.
please send your support to BOL Cash App, $ BOL 2019.
Yes.
$ BOL 2019. It's across the bottom of the screen. If you
Yes,
want to
indeed.
support in any way what BOL is trying to do, please do so. We would appreciate it.
Indeed. Appreciate that. Awesome. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I was trying to get my other resident guest, but I think he's been tied up lately. Talking about land and real estate. But we'll see. So if not, we'll be talking about something else. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Continue to stay safe. 988. If you're having a mental health crisis or know someone in a mental health crisis, and you need someone immediately, dial 988 and continue to be safe. Drive safe. If you're in Georgia, please drive safe. Just drive with a little bit of sense. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Go vote.
And vote. Bam! I knew there was vote. We're in early voting if you're in the state of Georgia and some other states. Go ahead.
You know, there was an article that I read last night that stated the turnout for day one of early voting was 80% greater than the last election.
Wow.
Wow.
The statement was this undermines Stacey Abrams' declaration of voter suppression. That because so many more people went out,
Right.
it means Stacey Abrams doesn't know what she's talking about.
Right.
And I would challenge that. I would say that so many people stepped out because of what Stacey Abrams said.
Yeah, because yeah.
So they're trying to control the narrative.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you to run out there and vote for Stacey Abrams.
Right.
That's not the point.
Mhm.
We all know that voter suppression is real,
Mhm.
and you have to have purpose. You have to be driven by purpose to have an impact, to let your voice be heard, to get
Right.
out there. And I believe that's why you had 80% more turnout. My
Right.
hope and my
Right.
prayer is that 80% has a good percentage of folks who need what we need
Right.
Right.
out there
Indeed.
voting. That's the hope.
Indeed.
So get out and vote, please.
Yes. Vote. Vote. Vote for who you want. Vote because there are a lot of other initiatives. There are a lot of things on the ballot as far as finance that goes on. You don't want to miss that. All right. So
Yeah.
we see you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel. Know that we love you. God loves you more. Continue to stay safe. And we'll see you in the AM. Peace out.